the second earring of this earring set. And in order to do that, I'm going to need 3 dagger beads, 4 Ginko beads, 1 DiamondDuo, 4 Magatamas, 5 either round or Rondell 4mm crystal beads, 11 0 round beads, a closed loop, and an earring hook. And I'm using 2 feet, 24 inches of green wildfire. I try to pick, when I do these, I try to pick something that's as close as I can get to the colors in the beads so the thread doesn't show. So to start, we're going to pick up a stop bead because I'm going to be stringing a bunch of beads. I don't want them to fall off the other end. So we want to pick up our stop bead. And now we're going to pick up 3 11 zeros, 1 4mm, another 3 11 zeros, another 4mm, and another 3 11 zeros. So that's what we're starting with. And we're going to string these down, and next we're going to put on our dagger beads. So in order to do that, I'm going to pick up, they're 2-hole dagger beads. So I'm going to pick up the first one by the upper hole, and I'm going to pick up a 4mm, and I'm going to pick the third one up by the upper hole, and I'm going to string these down. And now I want to pick up 2 11 zeros and go through the lower hole on the first bead. I'm going to add the middle bead and go through the upper hole, and then I'm going to go back through the lower hole on the third bead, and I'm going to pull that all through. So that should look like this. I'm going to take 2 more 11 zeros, and I'm going to go back through the upper hole, the bead, and the upper hole on the other dagger. Do not go through the silver bead like I just did. You want to make sure you don't go through that silver bead. If you do, they won't lay correctly. The bead will be pulling up in the direction that your thread's going. All right, we're going to finish this side, so the other side like this. So we want 3 11 zeros. We want our 4mm. We want 3 11 zeros. We want the 4, and then we want 3 more 11 zeros. And we'll just pull them down. So now your piece looks quite symmetrical. Now we're going to add our DiamondDuo, and we want the DiamondDuo. You're going to add the bottom 2 holes. It's got 4 holes, and this has a side to it. This side is sitting up. This is the flat side. So this is the actual correct side, the front side that you want to show. So I'm going to go through here, and I am going to go, and I'm going to go through all of the beads one more time. So I'm going to come down. Well, let's put this on first. We'll put this on first. All right. And now I want to come through all of these one more time. So I'm going to go through the silver, I'm going to go through the green, and the 11 zeros, and the 4mm until I get to the end. And then I'm going to pull this snug, and I'm going to get rid of this stop bead. We don't need this anymore. And now I'm going to go through our dagger beads and the 4mm and the dagger on the other side, and not go through that silver bead. we go. And I can pull on each side a little bit to tighten this. And then I want to come up this side. You come up the second side. And go through the DiamondDuo. Now when you get through here, now you can actually pull on these two sides. And we're going to make a knot. So we're just going to tie this twice. Once, and that'll help tighten it. And then we'll tie it twice. There we go. I'm not going to... Okay. I have to go through this bead again. So I don't want to, I don't like to put the knots in here because they're too noticeable. So I have to go through this bead one more time. So I don't want to pull it too tight. I don't want to pull the knot into the bead. So let's do 1, 2, 3. We're going to do 3 11 zeros and go through the top of this DiamondDuo. I picked one, the hole is not punched through. That's the other thing. You should check the holes to make sure that they're all punched through. Now I have a larger needle. I'm going to try and punch this through. There we go. That worked. So I'm going to go through 3, and I need 3 on the other side. 1, 2, 3. I want to come through here, and now I can pull snug. I'm going to go back around to the top. I want to go around these 3. And now we're going to add our Ginko beads. But before I do that, I'm going to get rid of this tail. So I've gotten another needle. I'm going to just flatten this with the pliers. And I'll run this through. So I'm going to go down this side on the beads. Now I can pull it a little snugger and the knot will kind of slip into this bead. I'll tie around. So I'm just going to make a loop. And we'll go through the silver beads, and that'll be fine. I'm gonna, there we go, get the end of that, and we'll just cut that off, and we'll be rid of that extra thread. All right, so now we're looking at this. Now we're gonna have to put on, now we're going to add our Ginko beads. So in order to do that, I'm going to lay them out so you can see how, oh, let me back up. We need to add our first set of Magatamas. So we're going to go into the short hole on these two, and we're going to bring them down, and now we're going to need to add our Magatamas. So we're going to go into the longer hole, the longer side, one, and the other side. See what the hole is closer to the edge. 1 and 2. And we bring them down, and they should actually look like they're standing up a bit. So they're going upwards. So that looks good. Now I'm going to have to go through the Ginko, and then I want one on the outside, and then I'm going to want one, no, I want the green one first, backwards. So let's lay them out so that we know where we're going to go. And then we're going to go to this side. And then here. So here's the thread path. I did this so that you can see the thread path. The thread path is going to go we're going to go through here, through here, through here. I'm going to pick up some beads to come round back here to the hole, and then back through, down, and we'll add the other Magatamas. So if we get started, the first one we're going to have to add is the green one. So we'll go through the green, and then we have to go through the purple, and they'll sit like that. And then we'll go through another green. Sometimes they flip. There you go. That's the way we want them to sit. And we're going to pick up 4, 1, 2, and then the closed loop, and 3, 4. And we're going to bring these down. And now we're going to reverse to go down the green. Now we have to add the purple one. So we want to add purple, and we want to go down the other side of green. And now I want to tighten them up a little bit, so I'm going to actually grab hold of this loop. No, just grab hold of the beads. There we go. And pull. Now I want to add the last 2 Magatamas, and I want them to go upward like this. So I'm going to pick up the short side. So they should look like, I picked up one that doesn't look right. All right, so if we pick up the short side, it should look like this. Yeah. So they'll come looking like that. And we're going to go through this purple bead again, the DiamondDuo. This is what your work should look like at this point. All right, now we're going to add these outside beads all around the top. So the first thing I want to do is I'm actually going to go back up through, I'm not going to add them right now, I'm going to go back up through these Ginko beads because I want to tighten this. This helps me tighten this up a little bit. And we'll go through there. So that makes that side a little bit tighter. And now we want to, I know the thought was to go this way, but I want to keep these going through the beads so that we come with a nice round shape and all the beads sit next to one another. So let's go through the first two, and we're going to skip this. So you're going to go over the loop. You don't want to go through the loop, and go through the next two. And I'm going to show you why. When we pull this down and I pull this loop up a little bit, you'll notice that it traps the loop between these two beads. So now it's not going to be flopping around between all four of the beads. So the next thing I want to do is pick up four silver beads, and I'm going to go down through here, down through the purple one. That sits there quite nicely. And we're going to add three that are really going to sit in here. We don't want them underneath here, so we only want to add three. And I want to go through the Magatamas. So I'm going to go through the first and the second Magatama and pull through and push them up so they sit higher. Okay, they're going to sit up here. Now we could go through here, but what I've discovered is at the top of the DiamondDuo, if we take and go through these three beads and go through the bottom, that's going to cause our DiamondDuo to sit up straight. If you go through the top, sometimes it leans to one side. So let's go through those three beads. We're going to go through the bottom, and we're going to come back up these three on the other side. And we'll pull that snug. Now we want to go up the Magatamas. And we have to add three for this side. So we're going to do 1, 2, 3. And again, we want to go through the purple bead, and we want to get them to sit up here at the tip of the Magatama. We don't want to let them slide down underneath it. So we're sitting like this. Now we have to add the 4. So we're at 1, 2, 3, 4. And we're going to go through. Now we can go through the loop again because we've already stationed it. You go through the loop and you should just reinforce so you have an extra thread. We'll go down, and I'm just going to flip this over because I like to work going up. So we're going to go down here to the end of the silver beads, and we add 5. And we're going to go through the 3 silver again, and we go through the Magatamas. And this time we can go through the top of the silver. So we're going to go through the top of the DiamondDuo. Go through the top. We'll come back up the Magatamas. We're going to go back through these 3. And we're going to add 5. I have to count 5. And we'll go through here. Now, by adding the beads going into the beads instead of going into the Ginko beads, see how nice the line is? You don't have stops where beads are going into the the ginkgos and then coming back out. So that's the reason I like to do it in that format. And I also wanted to show you that when you do that in that manner, see how nicely this DiamondDuo stays straight up. All right, so now what we want to do is we've come through and we just want to tie off. And to do that, I'm going to go through, I don't want to ruin the line of these beads by putting a knot in the middle. So I'm going to come through the beads again, one last time. All right, I can put a knot on the top of the Magatama because that won't be that noticeable. So let me make a loop, and then I'll put my thread through. And this spot will not be noticeable at all. And we can come down, and I can do it again. And then I'm just going to go through these 3 beads and cut the thread. There we go. So there's the second earring. Now, when we put the earring hook on, you need to be careful because these are directional. Remember, this is an outside. It matters which way they're going, so you can't just slap the hook on. This one is going to go in this direction, so this will be for the left ear, and this one has to be for the right ear, which means it's going to have to go in the opposite direction. So we want to take our little plier and we want to make sure that we put this on in such a way that it would be facing. So when you have the 2 sides, the 2 fronts, they're facing each other. So if I were to wear this, I would be putting it on the right ear, and this would be the outside. This is one of the few things that the directional does matter. Okay, so I hope you enjoyed today's video, and please like and subscribe and come back because I try to put something out fresh every week. So there'll be new patterns and there'll be new designs in the next few weeks. Thank you.